Hey third graders, welcome to Module 4, Lesson 11. Today you guys are going to find the side lengths of rectangles with areas of 24, 36, 48, and 72 square units. Now we already know that we can have different rectangles that have the same area. So the rectangles look different, but if you were to actually see how much area they cover the same amount of area, and that you would use the same amount of square units to measure them. But how do you figure out how many different rectangles you can make with the same area, and make sure that you really got all of the rectangles made? So today I'm going to be teaching you guys a little trick to figure that out. On your notes, I want you guys to try to find all of the rectangles with areas of 24 square units that you can, so that when you make the rectangle, it has 24 square units. Don't forget to write the side lengths on there. Go ahead and try to find as many as you can, press pause, and press play when you're done. Okay, so I drew a couple rectangles that end up having 24 square units as their area. So I was thinking that 12 plus 12 equals 24, so 2 rows of 12 would make 24. And then I was thinking, oh, anything times 1 is itself, so I would make my French fry looking rectangle here. So then I got 1 times 24. But I was like, I don't know what other rectangles I could find that would equal 24 square units. And I'm not sure if you guys found more than I did, but let me teach you a little trick that's kind of like a checklist to keep your trial and error of making a rectangle organized. So what you're going to do, you're going to write a list 1 through 10 on the side of your paper. And anytime that we have a side length that we use that number to multiply, then we check it off. So for example, actually go ahead and write your list right now. Press pause and press play when you're done. All right, so here's how you check it off. So if I had 1 times 24, so I already used my 1, so I'm going to check that off. I used 2 right here, so I'm going to check that off. Now 3. I haven't used 3 as one of my side lengths yet, so I'm going to see if I can skip count by 3 to get to 24. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. That works. So 8 times 3 equals 24. So now I can check off both of these and I can make a new rectangle. This is my area model, so I'm trying to make my rectangles look as different as I can, but I put my side lengths to let people know that in real life they look a little bit different. So 3 units. So I got 3 times 8 equals 24. Okay, so now let's move on to 4. So 4, can I count by 4s to get to 24? Oh, I just know my facts. So 6 times 4 equals 24, or you could count by 4s. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So that got me to 4 times 6. Okay, so now my 5s. Now I already know that any number multiplied by 5 is going to end in a 0 or a 5, so 24 wouldn't work. But let's just test that. So if I count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I skip right over 24 when I count by 5s. So 5 is not going to work. But I'll put an X there just to know that it didn't work, but I tried it. Now let's look at our 7s. So 7, 14, 21, 28. I skipped over it again. I went from 21 to 28. So there's nothing I can multiply by 7 to get to 24. That didn't work. All right, let's look at my 9s. So if I count by 9s, 9 times 2 is 18, 9 times 3 is 27. So we went right from 18 to 27. So we skipped 24, so 9 does not work. And then I know that anything multiplied by 10 ends in a 0. 24 does not end in a 0, so that one is not going to work either because it would just be 10, 20, 30. We'd skip over 24. So now I know that I probably have all of the rectangles possible. So let's go ahead and try another one. Okay, I want you guys to go ahead and try this one on your own. Find all of the rectangles with an area of 36 square units that you can. Use your strategy using your list, press pause, and press play when you're done. All right, let's see how you guys did. You should have gotten 1 times 36, so that one was obviously our easy one. And then if you counted by twos, you could have counted by twos 13 times to get to 36. Then if we count by threes, if you counted by threes, you would have done that 12 times. You could have also thought to yourself, okay, 3 times 10 is 30, add 3 more, 3 times 11 is 33, and 3 times 12 is 36. However you got to 36 when you multiplied by 3. All right, so now with our fours, if you counted by fours, you should have gotten to 4 times 9. So we got to take care of a 4 and a 9 with that one. And then if we count by fives, we don't get to 36 because it would go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So 40, so we'd skip 36. And then I know that 6 times 6 is 36, or if you counted by sixes, you should have counted by 6 times. On your sevens, if you counted by sevens, you cannot get to 36, so that would not work. And counting by eights also wouldn't work. And counting by tens wouldn't work because this number does not end in 0, so I can't count by 10 to get there. So I was able to use my list to help me organize how I went through and built all my rectangles. Let's go ahead and try another one. This time I want you guys to find all the rectangles that you can with an area of 48 square units. Go ahead and do it, press pause and press play when you're done. Okay, here are all the rectangles that you should have found for having an area of 48. So 1 times 48 is 48. If you counted by twos, you would have stopped at 24, or if you just knew that 24 plus 24 is 48, because half of 40 is 20, half of 8 is 4, so that would be 24. This one was a little tricky, counting by threes 16 times, so you might have needed to write a list and kept adding on your threes until you got there. 4 times 12, counting by fours. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48. So that's why we tag on those other 2 numbers to help you get those high answers, those high factored answers. This doesn't end in a 0, so I know that I can't multiply anything by 5 or by 10 to get to this number. It needs to end in a 5 or a 0 for it to be multiplied by 5. With my sixes, I know that 6 times 8 is 48 if I count by my sixes or by my eights. And then my sevens completely skip it, and my nines completely skip 48 as well. So you should have drawn 5 rectangles for 48. Some of you are asking yourselves, why don't we go higher than 10 on our list, even for this huge number like 48? Well, just doing the 1 through 10 is perfect for what you guys do in 3rd grade, because each time that you go down the list with your factors, your rectangles are getting more and more narrow as you go. So this one gets cut in half to make 2 times 24. 2 times 24 becomes a little smaller to get to your 3 times 16. Now how I drew them doesn't really reflect that, but once we do some more hands-on work in class, you're going to see that the rectangles start to get a little shorter and fatter the more down the list that you go. So this list works. All right, for your final problem, you guys are going to draw all the rectangles that you can that equal 72 square units. Please draw your side lengths and check them off as you go. We will see how you guys do, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye you guys.